Hi guys, it's Emily from Novel Novels and welcome to today's video. The sun is out and it's the Eclectic Reader Tag. Now I was tagged in this by the lovely Kelly, by Cozy Reader Kelly, who created this tag, and I also tagged some people at the end. So I'm going to kind of wing it a bit. I've got a few answers, not the best, giving it a go, hope you like it. You know me, I am very eclectic. Sorry about the dogs barking in the background, but you can't control these things, so that's next door. So let's get on with the prompts. I will link obviously Kelly's video down below, and I will show obviously, and that'll have the prompts listed and everything. This is a nice easy tag to do, not too many prompts, not too much thinking, quite chatty, perfect for me, perfect for today. So first one is, where do you get your book recommendations from? Well, mainly you lot. It's mainly BookTube. That's where I get most of my recommendations. I've got a lot of fantastic booktubers that I'm subscribed to that tell me so many great recommendations. I've got Bookstagram, that's quite helpful. And I've got my family and friends. Obviously you're all counting as friends, but you know, my non-booktube friends. I've got even my sister Charlie, she's fantastic. She used to have a channel on here. She's fantastic at giving me great like recommendations. I also go to Vaz Books in town, and there's some lovely staff there that do also give me some great recommendations. But in general, most of it is you guys, most of it is BookTube, because you're dangerous. I'm going shopping tomorrow and I know it's going to be dangerous because you lot have got me wanting loads of books, but I wouldn't change it. So next one is, how do you decide to read next? Well, as you guys well know, I have a set TBR at the start of the month. And but it's always, my set TBR is always less than I will be able to read. So I set it at about 15 or 16 books, but in general I read 30 plus books. So what I will do is, obviously in that I have the buddy reads. So I have my buddy read schedule. I schedule my buddy reads over the month and spread them out as much as I can. So they are my priorities. Then I tend to start off with my bigger books of the month TBR. So if I've got like a massive chunky book, like with the Plantagenet series from the Philippa Gregory, I will tend to read my bigger books at the start, and then I will go from there. I like to have different books on the go. So like today as I'm filming this, I've got my War and Peace buddy read, I've got my Family Parsonage buddy read, but then I've also got like a historical fiction to read during the day. I've got a contemporary book or a children's book that I will read in the evenings. I will always read a children's or contemporary book in the evenings because that's lighter and it helps me relax. And then during the day I will either read a historical fiction, a thriller, or a more exciting book, because I like to have an exciting book on the go during the day. Sometimes even have two if I'm going, it doesn't matter. And then I have an audiobook. So I like to mix it up, but I try to get my TBR, my physical TBR, over and done at the start of the month, so at the end of the month I can then mood read even more. But you guys know my TBRs, you know I have it quite a variety of different genres in my TBRs, so that I can mood read within the month, because I find that helps me. If I have, like, there's been times when, like, over Victober or Jane Austen July, where I've read solidly the classics and it's killed me and it's turned me off the rest of the month for a couple of months. So I do like to mix it up. I do like to have my genres mixed up, because that's me. I am eclectic. Perfect tag for me, isn't it, Kelly? So number 3 is, how has your reading changed over time? Well, you guys know it's changed a lot. I've been on BookTube just over 2 years now, and I started off mainly reading contemporaries. I then got into historical fiction, which are my two strongest genres. They're my two favourites, but I now love my thrillers. I've got my YA kind of, I do like my younger literature books as well. I like my thrillers, I like my mysteries, I like a bit of non-fiction. I've got really into fantasy, which I didn't expect, which I'm really surprisingly how much I've loved that. So it's really grown. Like last year I think I challenged myself to try so many different genres, but this year I'm being gentler on myself, and I've learned that it's okay to go with what I like. So yes, I've got a wider variety of genres that I read, and I tend to go with that depending on my mood. But I'm also learning to hone in on what I love and knowing what I love. So you guys have taught me so much. I owe you so much. Number 4, what genres or subgenres do you never or usually never read? Well, for starters, I've never read a Western book. That is one I've never tried to read. I'm not interested in reading. Not for me at all. Sorry, dead set. Also, I think sci-fi is one that I'm not a big fan of. And lastly, horror. Although you guys know that I will read horror as a subgenre, so I'll read horror within historical fiction, but I won't read horror. I've decided Stephen King's not for me. I've decided certain horror authors are just not for me, but I don't mind it now within a genre. So within like a historical fiction, because apparently like some of my favourite books have got have got horror within it, and it's like, what? You know, I didn't think it was horror. I think, what was I thinking? There was a book that scared the bejeebers out of me, and I loved it. It's one I read with you last year, Gemma. I read a book, Gem. I know, I'll think about it later if I remember. But yeah, like I said, I can read horror within a genre, but as a subgenre, but not as a genre itself. Sorry guys, this is a very rambling tag, but you know me. So the last one is name 5 specific subgenres that you enjoy. Include a recommendation or 2 for each of them. Now, I really am useless at this. You guys need to teach me what a subgenre is. I know what I would class as genre is. So we've got like our horrors, we've got our contemporaries, we've got our historical fiction, we've got our mysteries, thrillers, non-fiction. But I really struggle to identify what a subgenre is. So what I've done is I've looked them up on Goodreads. No, on Goodreads, on Google, because good old Google's my friend. And I've found subgenres within my favourite genres in general, so I can give you a few recommendations. I've tried not to go with the same recommendations that I always go with. And look, there's a listed out. Sorry guys, there is a lovely lorry that's just gone on my road. So I hope you're hearing me okay. So I've kind of gone with 6 subgenres, and I've got a recommendation or 2 for each of them. So let's go. Now the first one, I thought I had some books for that, but I don't, and that is the Multiperiod Sagas. I love my saga books in general, so I love my wartime saga books. So for my wartime saga books, I would say like the Woolworths Girls. I think they're a fantastic series. That's a series. That's a saga because it's a series within that. They are really fantastic. I love my sagas in that. I think Molly Green's another great author within historical wartime fiction. So if wartime fiction's one, can I count that? Let me know in the comments below. If wartime fiction's a subgenre, then I would definitely say the Woolworths Girls. So maybe I might have a few more subgenres. But if it's the multi-period sagas, Kate Morton is great at that. And my favourite of hers is The Lake House, which I listen to on audiobook through my library. Don't own it, want to own it. Looked at my shelves, I've discovered I've got 3 Kate Morton books that I need to get to because they are multi-period. But because they're massive, I'm scared. I think I'm going to pick one for August. I'm going to go with it. I've decided I'm going to push myself and go with one of them. So, yeah, I do love my multi-period ones because it really, I find them really exciting, really interesting. So that's another 2. So maybe I've gone for 7 genres. Sorry about this. So that would obviously be wartime fiction, which is the Woolworths Girls, and then the multi-period saga, which I'm going with The Lake House. The next one is historical mysteries. Now, I love my historical mysteries. I don't always keep them, but I love them. So the one I picked is one of you guys know was one of my favourite books of last year, The 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield. There is so much mystery in this. Now, I've not liked the other 2 books of hers that I've read, Once Upon a River or The Bellman in Black, as much as I like this. This is one of my favourite books ever. It's a bit mystery, it's a bit thrillerish, but it's a real mystery because it's Anglefield House stands abandoned and forgotten. It was once the imposing house of the March family. Fascinating, manipulative Isabella, Charlie, her brutal and dangerous brother, and the wild, untamed twins Emmeline and Adeline. But Anglefield House conceals a chilling secret whose impact still resonates. This is really good. Love it. If you like my mystery, if you like a bit of scariness, if you like historical, go with The 13th Tale. Now, the next one, I checked out some contemporary subgenres and I saw apparently a mummy lit counts as one. Now, as a mum, I do like reading books on motherhood. I've not found as many as on my shelves as I thought, but one I've read this year that I got sent as an ebook that I got sent actually to read is this. I got sent by Tandem to do a read along of this, and this is When I Run Away by Ilona Bannister. For starters, the author's lovely. Yes, I only rated it, I think, at like 4.5 stars, but it is a very good. It shows the other side of motherhood. This shows the postnatal depression. This shows motherhood at its worst as well as at its best, and it shows how motherhood isn't always your blood, but it can be children you adopt or children you look after. So that's why I think this is really good. And this is about Gigi, she's a New Yorker living in London. Her mother ate cheese from a can. Her mother-in-law serves terrine. She was ambitious and worked hard. Now she finds the choice in the pasta aisle overwhelming. With her husband, she's pretending everything's okay when she knows it isn't. Her brother died on 911 and her heart is still broken. She loves her adopted son, but not sure about the new baby. So this is a really good portrayal of motherhood at its best and at its worst, and how it takes you by surprise. Now, I had postnatal depression with my eldest, Mia, quite badly, and I bonded with her. It took a long time to bond with her, and I found that very hard. Whereas my relationship with my son was very different in the fact that I'd had a traumatic pregnancy with him, so I was determined not to go down postnatal, and if anything, I got too clingy. So that's why I like that book, because it shows that no two children and no two parental relationship with your two children are going to be the same. So that's what I love about this. Now, on the other side of it, a funny mummy book, the mummy series that I love the most in the world, Why Mummy Drinks. Now, I didn't read these books in order. I read Why Mummy Swears first, then Why Mummy Drinks, then Why Mummy Doesn't Give Up, and then Why Mummy Gets Sloshed. So this is a brilliant series, a portrayal of motherhood. We start off with, this is Mummy's 39th birthday. She's staring down the barrel of a future full of people asking if she wants to come to her advanced yoga class and polite book clubs. Everyone claims to be tiddly after a glass of Pinot Grigio and says things like, oh gosh. But Mummy doesn't want to go quietly into the good night of women with sensible haircuts who live for their children and stand in the playground. And she remembers an idea, and this is really good, because motherhood can sometimes also be portrayed as, oh, my children are my world and I don't live for anything else, and being a mother's the best job ever. Well, sorry, being a mum's a very tough job, very hard. My love for my children grew when I discovered a love for other things, like you guys, like BookTube. I've become a better mum when I discovered my own identity, and I think that's why I love that series, because it shows motherhood, all warts and all, and I felt like I really understood that author. So I really love it. It's a brilliant, fun series. If you want motherhood in a jokey way, in a way that's very real, pick it up. It's brilliant. Now, on the other side, completely the other side of the coin, gothic fiction. I like a bit of dark gothic. I like a bit of the mysterious, the dark. So you guys know a book that I love. First, to give you a bit of a teaser for my favourite book, obviously, is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I also think Jamaica Inn is a brilliant one, but I want my own copy that matches this copy, because I love Jamaica Inn. Jamaica Inn and Rebecca are two fantastic Daphne du Maurier. Very gothic, very dark, very mysterious, very perfect, and I loved this. I didn't expect to love it. Took a bit of time to get into it, but when I got into it, it's brilliant. If you like gothic, if you like a bit of dark, mysterious, Daphne du Maurier is amazing at that. Rebecca is brilliant, but I would say if I had it to hand, Jamaica Inn is even better. So Jamaica Inn, Rebecca, and last but not least on this subgenre, my favourite book of all time, the one that I will worship till my death, the one that's apparently Marmite, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, my favourite book of all time. Cannot beat it. Gothic, dark, mysterious, spooky, fantastic, the best book ever. Although, according to Charlie, BookTube Charlie, it's Marmite. You either love it or you don't. My best friends on here love it. So Gemma from Read a Book Gem, she loves it. Kate Howe loves it. We're doing a read along of it for Victober, sneaky peek. We're reading it again. This edition got sent to me by the lovely Becca from Becca's Bookshelves, and it is the most gorgeous edition. I'm just like, I love it. It's just gorgeous. It's just beautiful. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Clothbound classic, love it. So yeah, that's my favourite gothic. Then next one, I think this is a subgenre, and that's fairy tale retellings, because it's fantasy mixed with fairy tales mixed with a lot of things. And I'm going to go for two that I'm not going to say my favourite one, because you guys know it all too well. I am going to say though, Scarlet by Marissa Meyer, which is the second in the Lunar Chronicles. My mum's just read the Lunar Chronicles and loved it. I love the Lunar Chronicles, and this is my favourite of it because it's a Red Riding Hood retelling. Now, I didn't think I liked Red Riding Hood as a fairy tale. It's all right, but there is something about this, which is the gain on the gothic side of it, which is Wolf, the romantic guy in this. The guy Scarlet has a romance with. and I love him. He is my book crush. I love the fairy tale retellings within this. So you've got Cinder, which is the series, which is the Cinderella retelling. You've got Scarlet, then you've got Cress, who is the Rapunzel retelling. You've got Winter, who I think is Snow White. They're the 4 sort of main ones in this, and this is a brilliant series. One of my favourite series of ever. One of my favourite fantasy kind of fairy tale retellings. It's brilliant. So this I will recommend to everyone. Bloody read this with Clint last year and loved it. The next one I'm going to say is Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Byron. This is a great fairy tale retelling. This is a Cinderella retelling with some lovely LGBTQI plus characters, with some characters that are great. This is Cinderella turned on its head because she doesn't want to meet her man. She's got her best friend that she's in love with, and she loves him. She loves her, and this romance is brilliant. And this is Cinderella getting her fight back, and it's brilliant. Loved it. Again, I got sent it by Tandem. Thoroughly loved it. And then lastly, a little one, which is my dystopic books. Dystopia is an era, is a genre that I'm not as into, but it's one I'm getting into. And my favourite in the genre in this is the whole Noughts and Crosses series. Noughts and Crosses is the first one in the series, which I love. Love it, love it, love it. And the latter ones get even better. They just are an amazing series. So I would say this and the Eva Man series. Eva Man is good. The Eve Illusion is brilliant. I cannot wait for the 3rd book. So that's the Eve series by Giovanna and Tom Fletcher. That's another great series. But this is my favourite dystopic series. Now it's time to tag, and I didn't think this video would be this long, but hey ho, you know me, I've rambled. So I'm going to tag 3 people. But if I've not tagged you and you want to do it, please feel free to do it. I'm going to tag Berna from Berna's Vicarage Adventures because she kind of likes tagging me. I'm going to tag Tori from Hufflepuff Discovery. She's another one that likes tagging me. Then I'm going to tag Julie from Hungry Bookworm because she said she hasn't had any tag videos in a while. And do you know what? I think this one would be really good for her. I think she would be really, really good at this. So go for it. Julie, you do it. And if I've not tagged you and you want to do it, like I said, let me know in the comments below if you're going to do it. Let me tag me in it. Let me know. I'd love to know if you're going to do it. Anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel and not subscribed yet, ring on my ding-a-ling. And I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.